Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with a daily race B in the Group 4 class of car. We're driving the Corvette. This race we decided to let the stream choose our car to fight off the Alpha 4C. Obviously the Alpha 4C is very much the overpowered car, as you can see the majority of the field picking the 4C. We did our qualifying time in the 4C very quickly. I think a few laps managed to get it down to a 51.4. There was a lot more potential there. We could have probably got it into the 50s if we would have pushed it more. Obviously, we just did this before the stream, just started the race, trying to make sure that we get towards the front of the grid, and we achieved that with a P1 position. So we then let the stream choose the car that we're going to race in. It was between this and the Scirocco, and the majority seemed to go with the Corvette, so we picked the Corvette, and it was just a case of, can I defend against the Alpha 4C? Now, the one thing that the advantage the Corvette has got is got very good straight line speed. The Alpha 4C though, however, has very weak straight line speed. However, it has extremely strong cornering ability. The speed that that car can take through the corners is so much more than the Corvette could ever do. It was going to be a tough battle, but like I say, the advantage we've got is we've got good acceleration and good straight line speed to fight off that Alpha 4C. So we've just got to try and position the car in the correct place to ensure that they can't really get past us. As you see, straight away in the cornering sections, very much on the rear of our gearbox. You can see in that bottom right corner. We're going to defend, but watch as we get the power. A little drift out of the corner there, putting the power down, and that Alpha 4C just can't out-accelerate the Corvette. It's pretty much impossible for the 4C to get past in the straight. It's going to have to do it in the braking, picking up a very good slipstream from somewhere, but as you can see again, he's having a look down the left. I'm going to cover that off, go down to the left, and just brake nice and early, because if I hold a very tight line to this corner, holding the apex as close as possible and get on the power nice and early, we have a little bit of a rear twitch there. We get on the power a little bit too eager, but now it's a straight drag race down this hill, and the Alpha 4C just hasn't got enough power. He's right on the rear of the car, but we get the inside line into that fast right hand corner and maintain P1 position. As look at the train of Alpha 4Cs queuing up to try and get past myself and this Corvette. The Corvette was not the best car for this track, but it wasn't a terrible car. We did about 2 laps of practice, went straight into the race, so we wasn't really used to this car at all, so I was trying to learn it as we were racing it and get used to it. But the Corvette is quite an easy car to drive, quite stable on power, reasonable front end as well for a front engine drive car. As you see, going through that final corner, just trying to give myself a good enough line to get on the power, and then in case, again, straight over to the racing line, and then back over to the right hand side to try and lose that slipstream, and then we're going to stay there as he slowly comes back over. If he goes to get back in the slipstream, then we'll go back to the normal racing line and hit that braking point just after the 100 board and try and hook this corner up. It was really important that I got this corner really hooked up, because that was an opportunity. I felt like if this would have been a stronger lobby, like a top FIA race, this would not have worked, because the drivers in the 4C would have been able to get a really strong exits off that corner and probably be able to maintain it all the way into the next corner side by side, and possibly go around the outside of the Corvette with the amount of extra grip that 4C has got. But in this lobby, we're managing to hold off. You can see, picking our lines quite carefully, making sure I take tight lines into the apex, so they're going to have to go around the outside. And one advantage of this track, we all know how bad the slipstream is when you're behind someone with a slipstream. You get a massive loss of aero. You can see it behind, he ran off into the grass. So I go to the left hand side now. I know that he's going to suffer because he's just been off the track, so he's going to suffer with braking. You can see that. Look at the car sliding. The Alpha 4C struggles with the braking because it's been on the grass. He's got dirty tyres, he's lost traction, and again, we've covered that off all the way down the hill into this fast right hand corner. You can see we've got a bit of a gap developing, so we've got 1, 2, 3 Alpha 4Cs right behind us, but they're just not able to really get close enough. As you see again, through this section, you can see I'm just trying to maintain speed, and you'll see the different lines I take through the corner sometimes just to ensure that I can get good exits. As you see, I had a bit of a gap, so I gave myself the wide angle in just so I could get on the throttle nice and early and then increase the gap going into this corner, because this was a corner where the 4C had a chance of overtaking into this right hand corner, because it could take such a tight line through there and a lot more speed. But again, defended it well, covered the racing line on the power nice and early, and then let the Corvette just use its powers. Again, I go over to the racing line, then back over to the defensive. That's probably classed as one move, because getting back over to the racing line is a normal move. It's not classed as breaking the slipstream, but I did it very aggressively just so that he could pick up the slipstream as we now go into turn 1. And again, trying to make sure I get the power nice and early. not really hooking the apex up particularly well in the Corvette, but I was getting on the pal nice and early, which was quite one thing with the Corvette, was it was able to get on the pal really early. It was giving me the ability to defend into this turn 2. As you see now, it's become a battle now between myself and 2 4Cs. The other 4Cs have dropped off a little bit, and I was quite surprised that I did expect this race to be about 6 or 7 4Cs queuing up behind me in this Corvette. But you can see, getting on the power, getting out of that corner, the rear starting to twitch a little bit, and I'm managing to hold him off. And as you can see through this was one advantage with the Corvette as well. Through this long left-hand corner, the gearing really helped it. It had good gearing for that corner, which gave me the ability to defend into this really tight hairpin at the top of the hill. Now you can see I can actually take a normal racing line this time. I don't have to go defensive. He's trying to take a really wide line to get on the power nice and early, but even with that line, he's just not going to be able to make a move down this hill, because the Alpha 4C just doesn't have the power to do it. Now I think this strategy would have worked better if I would have picked the Lamborghini, but I didn't have that car on this other account. We're going to do more of these type of races. Let the stream choose the car on this account, because this is our fun account, so we're going to start just having fun on streams by letting you pick the car that I race and stuff like that. Obviously on my main account that won't happen, but on this account, when it's just for fun, we'll do more and more stuff like this, starting from the back, letting you pick the car that we race, and then seeing what the screen decide. I think it's more fun that way. As you see, he goes for a little move up on the inside and give him a little bit of space there, but he just hasn't got the power to get through there, and he actually lost the rear a little bit on that 4C. Obviously the 4C can get a little bit twitchy sometimes if you're not 100% confident with the car, and now we've got a new challenger on the final lap behind us to see if he can make a move and get past us to take the win in this race. As we get into turn 1 and trying to get a nice solid, we actually hooked that apex up really nicely that time. You can see in that bottom right hand corner, we've got a bit of a gap developed there. I think there is a Mazda behind them. Quite a good car probably for this track with its 4-wheel drive traction and no tyre wear. Obviously with tyre wear on it wouldn't probably be a great car, but without tyre wear, the 4-wheel drive cars in general are quite strong at tracks like this. And that is why the Lamborghini probably would have been a really good choice of car to do this strategy with, because it's a bit faster in the straights than the Corvette, I think. Possibly equal, maybe a bit faster, and it's got much better handling. So that car would be really good if you can get yourself at the front of the grid. Try out the Lamborghini and try this strategy. It should work if you can drive it very well and defensively. But look how close this car is now. This driver was much more aggressive behind. He looked like he was willing to get a little bit more feisty, going deep into the braking, but I just hold a very tight line to that apex again and get on the throttle nice and early, and again he's just not able to make that move from that corner. It's just the Alpha 4C just doesn't have the ability to carry the speed once on the throttle. He just doesn't have the acceleration, and again through the fast right hand corner, I think our lack of speed caught him out a little bit there as he gave us a little tap up the rear, but nothing too bad, as we're now just going to try and hold these 2 Alpha 4Cs off for the final few corners in this 4-lap sprint race, daily race B. All the way through these corners, managing to hold him off, driving very defensive through that line there, making sure that he can't just dart up the inside. There is a move there that a lot of people do tend to go for when they have the opportunity, and again through this final right hand corner, trying to make sure that I hold that tight line so he can't get the car up on the inside, and making sure that I'm on the throttle nice and early, and we work our way down the straight and take a well-earned win in the Corvette against the 4Cs. Quite a solid result, enjoyable to be involved with, and we'll be doing more of these races as much as possible. I hope you enjoyed that race. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back very soon. Thanks again for watching, everyone.